Buried secrets. In the early 1990s, a family of 4 moved into a small, rural farmhouse in the state of Maine. The parents, John and Susan, had decided to leave the city and give their 2 children, Michael and Samantha, a chance to grow up in the country. They purchased the farmhouse, which had been vacant for several years, for a very low price. At first, everything seemed perfect. The children loved playing in the fields and woods surrounding the house, and John and Susan were happy to have so much space to call their own. However, as the weeks passed, strange things began to happen. The family's pets, a dog and a cat, would often disappear for hours on end and then return, covered in dirt and looking as if they have been digging. The family also began to hear strange noises coming from the basement, as if something were moving around down there. The parents dismissed these occurrences as their pets and imagination, and they tried to ignore them. One night, while the family was sleeping, they were awakened by a loud noise coming from the basement. John went to investigate, but found nothing out of the ordinary. However, when he returned to his bedroom, he saw that the door to his daughter's room was open, and she was not in her bed. He woke up Susan, and together they searched the house, but there was no sign of Samantha. They called the police and reported her missing. The police searched the surrounding area, but she was nowhere to be found. The following day, the family received a call from the police. They had found Samantha's body in the shallow grave in the woods behind the house. She had been brutally murdered. The police investigation revealed that the previous owner of the house had been a serial killer who had murdered several young girls and buried their bodies on the property. The family was devastated by the loss of their daughter and the horror of what had occurred on their property. They sold the house and moved away, never to return. But to this day, the house still stands, and some say that the ghosts of the murdered girls can still be seen wandering the property, searching for justice for their untimely deaths. The Black Dahlia. One of the most famous true crime stories is the case of the Black Dahlia, also known as Elizabeth Short, a young woman who was brutally murdered in 1947 in Los Angeles, California. Her case remains unsolved to this day. Elizabeth Short was a 22-year-old woman who had moved to Los Angeles from Massachusetts with dreams of becoming an actress. On January 15, 1947, her body was found mutilated and cut in half in a vacant lot in Leimert Park, Los Angeles. Her murder was particularly gruesome, with her face lashed from the corners of her mouth to her ears, creating an eerie grin. Her body was also drained of blood, and it is believed that her killer may have kept her alive for several days before ultimately killing her. The case quickly became a media sensation and attracted nationwide attention. The newspapers dubbed Elizabeth as the Black Dahlia due to her rumored penchant for wearing black clothing and her dark hair. The police received many letters and tips, but none of them led to the capture of the killer. Despite the efforts of the police and the involvement of the FBI, the case remains unsolved to this day. Over the years, many suspects have been named, including a prominent surgeon, a janitor, and a crime boss, but no one has ever charged with the murder. The case remains one of the most infamous unsolved murders in American history, and the Black Dahlia continues to be a source of fascination and intrigue for true crime enthusiasts.